What would happen if just for one day you stopped giving your brain anything to consume? No phone, no scrolling, no music in the background, no YouTube videos, no fast food, no porn, no texting 5 people, just to feel connected. Just you, your body, your breath, your thoughts. Raw, unfiltered, real. Could you even last a few hours before the craving for stimulation creeps back in? Most people can't. Not because they're addicted to content, but because they're terrified of silence. And what they don't realize is that every little moment of stimulation, every ping post image snack, sound, is not just information. It's a chemical cocktail. And the cost of it, your clarity, your creativity, your inner power, your energy. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." That's not philosophy. That's prediction. And it's happening right now to you. Your soul is not something abstract or spiritual or unreachable. It's your center, your depth, your intuition, your internal compass. And every time you stimulate yourself without awareness, you walk a little further away from it. You don't do this on purpose, but your nervous system has been trained to seek more excitement, more validation, more escape, and it's been rewarded for it. But there's a hidden cost. You start to lose the ability to feel joy without stimulation. You stop being able to sit still without anxiety. You crave dopamine, not because you're weak, but because you've unconsciously wired your brain to depend on it for safety. This is what's called a hijacked nervous system. And the worst part, you still think it's normal. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat on your bed in total silence and didn't feel the need to grab your phone or scroll or get up and do something useful? When was the last time you walked down the street without music in your ears, without needing to fill the moment with noise? When was the last time you had a thought and didn't immediately try to escape it? If you're like most people, you're living in a constant loop of micro-distractions, tiny acts of avoidance. You don't feel your body anymore. You don't hear your inner voice. You don't experience the present moment fully, because your brain has been hijacked by stimuli that are cheap, fast, and endless. This is where Jungian psychology becomes not just relevant, but essential. Jung believed that the unconscious mind, when ignored, doesn't go away. It simply operates in the background, shaping our behaviors, reactions, and compulsions. He also believed that silence was not emptiness, but access. That by removing noise, the psyche could reorganize itself. And this is why a 24-hour brain detox is not just helpful, it's revolutionary. The goal is not to deprive yourself. The goal is to create enough inner stillness so that you can finally feel yourself again. Because right now, if you're constantly stimulating, you're not building anything, you're leaking energy. Every new reel you scroll past is a moment your brain switches attention. Every late-night binge of content is a bypass of your own thoughts. Every hit of fast pleasure is a delay of deep presence. And all of this compounds. It compounds into anxiety, apathy, disconnection, brain fog, and emotional numbness. And you call it normal life. So what happens when you stop? What happens when, for just 24 hours, you give your brain a break from stimulation? First, you will feel uncomfortable. You'll reach for your phone without realizing it. You'll feel a strange silence. Your thoughts will get louder. That's not failure. That's withdrawal. Your brain, like any system, resists change. But the longer you stay in that space, the more something incredible starts to happen. You begin to notice things, subtle emotions, background thoughts, tiny tensions in your body. You start to hear your own inner voice again. You realize that most of what you thought was urgency was just noise. Then something else happens. Your breath deepens. Your posture adjusts. You move slower but with more intention. You stop rushing. You stop performing. You begin to inhabit your life, not just move through it. This is what Jung called reintegration, the reassembly of fragmented parts of the self. Because all your compulsive stimulation fragments you. It slices your attention into pieces. It cuts your emotions off mid-process. It dissolves your ability to stay present. But stillness, real stillness, gathers you. It makes you whole again. Let's make this practical. Here's your 24-hour brain detox protocol. You can start tomorrow, or right now. It doesn't require money, tools, or technology. It only requires courage. For 24 hours. No phone, keep it off or on airplane mode. No internet unless for essential work or emergency. No music, podcasts, or background noise. No screens. No YouTube, Netflix, TikTok, Instagram. No junk food or sugar, eat whole simple meals. No masturbation or porn, keep your energy. No texting unless urgent. What you can do. Go for a walk without your phone. Journal your thoughts every few hours. Practice slow, deep breathing. Do light body movement, yoga, stretching, push-ups. Sit in silence. Let boredom visit you. Observe your cravings without obeying them. Reflect on what thoughts or emotions show up. At first, your brain will scream, "This is boring. I'm wasting time. I should check something." But that voice, that compulsion is the doorway. It's the access point. Because what lies on the other side of that discomfort is your power. Your energy starts to rise. Your mind starts to slow down. Your nervous system starts to reset. And then something clicks. You realize you've been living at half speed, half depth, half presence. You realize how many hours you've lost to overstimulation that gave you nothing. You realize how much energy you've wasted being externally distracted rather than internally anchored. And when that realization lands, you come back to yourself. Now imagine doing this not just for 24 hours, but as a weekly ritual. Imagine building your nervous system like a muscle, slowly increasing your capacity for stillness. Imagine living from the inside out instead of outside in. This is not aesthetic. This is not monkhood. This is mental warfare in a world that profits from your distraction. Because here's what the world doesn't want you to realize. The more addicted you are to stimulation, the easier you are to control. The less you can sit in silence, the more you need to be fed information, identity, comfort. And that dependence makes you compliant. But when you reclaim your ability to be with yourself, when you no longer need entertainment stimulation or constant input, you become powerful, unshakable, self-possessed. Jung knew this. He often encouraged solitude, nature, reflection, and silence as tools for individuation. He understood that growth doesn't happen in the noise, it happens in the pause, in the quiet, in the space between distractions. So what's next? You run the experiment. You do it not for results, but for reconnection. You don't detox to fix yourself. You detox to feel yourself. And in that 24-hour window, you will learn more about who you are and what's really driving your behavior than in 100 hours of noise. When it's over, you'll be different. You'll walk differently, think differently, look at screens with more awareness, hear your own intuition again. That voice you've been missing, the one that knows what matters, what's real, what's yours. It's still there. It's just been buried under layers of digital dust. And now, you're ready to dust it off. So here's your mission. Don't wait for the perfect weekend. Don't wait for a retreat or vacation. Start small. Start now. Choose a 24-hour window. Commit. Track what shows up. And when it gets hard, remember, this is not about deprivation. It's about recalibration. You are not punishing your brain. You are giving it a chance to breathe again. What's the one stimulus, the one app, the one habit The one input that you know has the strongest grip on your brain. And how will you begin taking back control today? Drop it in the comments. Let's build the kind of clarity they can't sell you. See you in video 6 with a sharper mind and a quieter soul.